There it is.
This is bad news.
My God.
Anything could happen.
Get off!
Wow. I'll watch the video later. Good afternoon. Welcome to another unhinged episode from your crazy madman up in the mountains, Joey Only, the Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel here, 3,153 feet above sea level in Wells, British Columbia, up in the Caribou Mountains. Quite enjoy living out here. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if I just unplugged everything, I could probably just pretend that the rest of the world doesn't exist and just enjoy the peace and serenity of the mountains. Oh, yes, it is a lovely day here, hovering around 0 degrees, still kind of chilly-ish. Okay, let's get to some bad weather talk today. So, there is a bit of a storm moving up the coast there. It's not that deep. No, it's not. But it is bringing us a nice little trough that's just slamming straight at Haida-Gwaii right now, which is bringing wind and some rain as well, up to 110 kilometers an hour, nothing that you're not quite used to. So this goes on this evening is when that should arrive and go on till Wednesday morning for Haida-Gwaii. Additional information, a vigorous Pacific frontal system will bring strong winds and periods of heavy rain to Haida-Gwaii tonight and on Wednesday. Southeast winds will gradually strengthen today and reach 90 kilometers an hour and gust to 110 this evening. The southeast winds will slightly ease to below warning criteria on Wednesday morning, but remain blustery through Wednesday evening. High winds may toss your hat off into the river. Yes, into the ocean. Whatever. Okay. Also in Canada, a little bit lingering still. Winter storm warning through Ontario. It's like the never-ending snow year for these guys. I'm sorry to my friends in Timmins and places like that, in Sudbury, Kapuskasing, 20 to 40 centimeters. Oh boy, that's a lot. Yeah, okay. What about so not looking good for the Sault Ste. Marie area. What's going up here? 15 centimeters only, so not too bad. Inland, 20 to 40 centimeters. Holy cow. So up to the Quebec border, 20 to 40 centimeters beginning Wednesday afternoon, tapering off Thursday evening. Northerly winds gusting to 50 kilometers an hour could be going on there. So yeah, scattered flurries and drizzle, giving way to heavy snow near midday if you're more to the west side of that. And if you're far to the east side on the Quebec side, you're looking Wednesday evening to Thursday afternoon. That's for the northwestern Abitibi and Metagami. Thursday, moderate northwesterly winds gusting 50 will produce local blowing snow. We do got a special weather statement actually for Sudbury, Espanola, and all those places along up to North Bay. 1 to 3 millimeters of ice buildup possible from some freezing rain that could happen probably on Thursday. Free rainfall should just be rainfall on Thursday. So a little bit warm sector down here, cold sector up there, producing some heavy precipitation. Other than that, you'd have to go all the way to the east coast to find something interesting. Still hanging on that east side. The west side of Nova Scotia, 5 to 10 millimeters of rainfall warning there. So they are just getting that nice freezing rain as you go. That's like the causeway or whatever you call it there between Nova Scotia and there you go, through Sackville. There's like this area. It's kind of neat. You can see like ocean on both sides, basically. 4 hours of freezing rain expected or occurring. Freezing rain will change to rain and freezing rain will change to freezing rain and ice pellets before coming to an end. That's kind of confusing. Freezing rain will change to freezing rain. Will it? Okay. 2 to 8 hours of freezing rain, though, on PEI. Snow and freezing rain covers Prince Edward, says county. Over Prince County will end early this evening. So I got confused. Prince Edward County is in Ontario there. Right. So that's going on for them. Freezing rain warning out there. And then if going up to Newfoundland, freezing rain for them, 5 to 10 millimeters. That could last 8 hours. So that's really bad. Newfoundland, you're going to get some freezing rain. So hopefully people aren't taking too much onto the power lines and having their power outages and things like that happening. Okay, where's our jet stream right now? So there's our storm on the west coast. And look, you can see, boom, right up the coastline there is when those winds kind of, what's the best way to describe it? Like sort of funnel themselves in or compressed in, sort of a narrower band of windy area. We'll look at that in a few minutes here. And that will be striking all the way up the coast. But, the thing is, if you're on the coast, it's going to sort of be mostly offshore. But if you're on Haida-Gwaii, it's coming straight at you. So here's that new low that's developing out there in center of the continent. Could make for some severe storms and whatnot tomorrow. There is that outside chance, but this isn't like last weekend's setup. No, it doesn't mean that if you aren't caught in the crosswind or caught in the crosshairs of it, that you couldn't have a bad day or perhaps lethal one. But no, that's not like last weekend's setup where it was an extremely obvious setup for anybody who's a weather person looking at that going like, oh my God, every major tornado setup that we look at in the textbooks looks like this. This is what's probably going to happen, folks. Like, please get to understand. And then people are just like, we don't believe you. You're dramatic. Such being a drama queen there. It's you liberals. You're just trying to convince us of the climate change and, knowledge. Who needs knowledge? You got experience. You've been watching weather for 35 years. That doesn't mean nothing to me because knowledge is bunk. All right, history's bunk. Okay, so this is that area that I made the video about yesterday that some of you watched. Thank you if you did. A video that was about 10% chance of tropical storm formation, and you can see it there, nice little cyclone, but it will not reach tropical storm status. That's now back to zero today. Nonetheless, seeing that pop up on everybody's weather notifications made all the weather nerds say, what the heck? 10% chance even, like the fact that there's even a statement being made that there's a chance a tropical storm could develop is absolutely unbelievable. The ocean temperatures are like summer warm already in the Caribbean. Like this is going to be a big year. I'm thinking already, depending on, so got the heat is probably going to be available there. Now, will we have too much wind shear at the top? You know, what happens is if too much wind at the upper level is doing this, it just kind of pulls your hurricane apart and it doesn't really take in. So that's why some hurricane seasons aren't that crazy, even though you would think like, wow, the heat's there. So, but I mean, we have the reason to believe that will show up. So, okay, here's our low kind of working itself out. As you can see, through most of the week, if there's much going on, it's mostly directed at southern BC. Still, border country area-ish. And then here, boom, now we see this trough digging in. We got the ridge here, and then we got look at the jet stream. Wow, perfect. Just beautiful jet stream. So looking through next week, you can kind of get the impression that we're going to be getting into that warm weather. That's what I'm here to talk to you about today, the warm weather that's coming. Even though we got a little bit of snow and stories like that. I forgot to say at the top, today's episode's about warm weather. By the way, you're going to like this one. There's some warm weather coming to BC. See? There it is. I can't wait. I'm tired of this shit. Okay, let's have a gander at the big picture. Here's still some of those lows that are part of... This is all sort of instability that's still lingering, and so is this from last weekend's major storm. So it's unbelievable that there's still signs of it out there existing, and this is one that's going to be in the record books for a long time to come. So here's that new low out in the middle of the continent there, sort of near Colorado, more or less, and you can see a little bit of low pressure into the center of the province here. It's slightly overcast. It's definitely got a bit of a haze in the cloud today, like in terms of at the upper levels. It's not like you can just see clear the blue sky. It's like, well, even where there's not cloud, there's a sort of cloudiness in the way. So you can tell that that's some of that crap out here is being skimmed off the top by upper level winds and dragging it inside and making up for a little bit of that in for us. So here's that low. Doesn't do too much by Wednesday up the coast mostly. Little bit into southern BC. Yeah, a little bit of snow, a little bit of precip there Thursday. Sure, yeah, but this isn't blowing our minds stuff, I don't think. Not that I'm aware of. I mean, on the coast, yeah, the coast mountains for sure. It's going to be pretty big. And we'll look at snowfall totals in just a second to give you like some accurate pictures. You can see this low. When we do look at the snowfall totals, what you're going to see is like the streak that goes right up through into northern Ontario and into northern Quebec, where this low that was just sitting down here, the one that could make for some bad storms still tomorrow, although not like last weekend's. Here we are into Friday. Now on the weekend, we're going to see a little more of that before the weekend starts, right? And then again, boom, Sunday, nice blast. So we're seeing some storms coming at us still. Yeah, and this is the delivery system for the warmth. Look at that. That warm sector. We're going to be well now on the south side of that flow, and we're going to be in that warm sector through at least central BC. Hopefully you guys in the north get a little bit of a break. Well, we'll look at that in a second. Look at that next mid-lat cyclone up there, digging in. So that, we got stories on the horizon that could be weather makers. So this here is what I was talking about. First of all, you can see what the low is today, and you can just see where it's going to jet off right across Lake Michigan, right towards Sault Ste. Marie. You can see where some of those larger snowfall totals are. We're looking at in the warnings, 38, 40 centimeters. Sure, that's all possible through there, up through Timmins. Sorry to our friends, Jamie there, Kins and Klomp podcast. You're going to get more snow, even though I was on your podcast last week with Frankie, and people were saying, how much snow are we going to get? How much snow are we going to get? So, again, back in here we go, and looking at the coast mountains being pretty significant. So big time snowfall between now and Friday evening. This is just for the next bunch of days. You're really looking at for the next bunch of days. 86 centimeters up there, 90 centimeters. Okay, so quite a bit in the coast mountains. Coquihalla Pass getting just a little bit at times, so you got some slippery moments ahead for you. More so in eastern BC, some of the 20s even in the higher mountains. Going over Rogers Pass at times is going to be pretty gross. Going in towards Jasper at times is going to be pretty gross. Up through northern BC, still up through the coast, basically. Coast Mountain's going to be taking some big snowfall totals in places to the areas around Terrace, so expect your avalanche conditions to go up. And then into northern BC, Spatsizi Plateau and whatnot, still looking at 15. They've had a lot of snow up there this year, so that's good for their fire potential. But meanwhile, Caribou mostly getting a miss on this one as per usual. And all those areas on 97 between Williams Lake and Kamloops, you're not looking at getting pretty much anything this week. And, maybe a few centimeters comes in some squalls and whatnot in moments. But for really in the Caribou, you're in the dry sector on this one once again. We're going to just have a quick run through on this, and we're just going to look towards the weekend here and get kind of the picture on how we're going to shape out. Here's that storm up there. So northern BC today, taking a little bit, like we just saw, and that's easy. That's when you get your turn. Here comes that wind coming in. And what are we looking at for winds right now reported in the coast? There's a ship out there reporting 59. So, that's coming for you. Those numbers will go up. 30s up the coast, 20s up the coast. So nothing too bad right now. Temperatures right now sitting fairly warm on the American side. Vernon at 8. We get to double digits if you go south of. Mostly hovering around freezing, just a little bit of below or above. Peace is slightly warmer. So here comes all that nastiness into Hawaii tonight. We've already seen 110K wind possible. That's going on for you, and some of that's still spilling into northern BC like we just saw. We'll skip ahead now that you know mostly the timing of how that's going to work. Then the heavy precipitation comes in too with it, sort of after. So it's going to blow for a little bit first, and then throughout Wednesday morning, going to be coming hard at you. And here's the precip. Here's where we're looking. Here's where you don't want to be traveling tomorrow. So areas between Burns Lake and Terrace, going to be gross. Areas going up towards Alaska, going to be gross. Spatsizi Plateau, going to be gross. Nice and dry in Peace so far. Small band of precipitation across the Caribou, not out of the question in time for the morning, maybe the commute, whatever, maybe a little later than. Small band of precipitation, like we saw, a couple centimeters maybe, right? Some of that into, look at that low now. It's kind of dug itself in, and it's just slamming up that central coast, slamming Vancouver Island. You can really see that tail. We'll just zoom out here and just see how that tail goes all the way up the coastline. This is kind of a neat one, right? So whoosh, just like a big old snake there. There's our storm that we were just talking about, heading up towards the Sioux. And on the Ontario side, make sure if you're living those parts of the world, you go find someone who knows more time to dedicate to Ontario weather than I do. I don't live there anymore, so I don't have much. I haven't for 25 years, so it's becoming less and less my home province, I guess. I'm really a BC guy these days. It's been that way for a while. Wednesday evening, southern BC. I wouldn't be going on the Coquihalla at that time. Revelstoke Pass might be pretty gross. Highway 3, sure, probably pretty gross if you're going up maybe a little in that Anarchist Mountain, but I think the more you get towards the pass, like Christina, get past Christina Lake there and get up towards Paulson Summit and whatnot. I think that's where you're going to see probably a little bit more of that, but not out of the question for the Anarchist Summit area there. Coast Mountains, sure, heading up towards the Duffy Pass. They're going to be pretty bad. Sure, some of those big mountains there will be getting some big snow. Revelstoke, maybe a little bit in the Caribou here, but looks like mostly parts south of us. Blue River, probably going to see quite a bit there. Maybe not heavy amounts, but length of time where you should be seeing like flurries off and on for quite a while. You're going to have a period of flurries, even if they're not heavy flurries. There is that southern BC, so I expect to see some kind of a snowfall warning. Probably you're looking at 3 centimeters an hour. 1 centimeter an hour, 3 centimeters over 3 hours. That's pretty heavy snowfall. Not extreme or nothing like that, but it could be an example if that can persist for a while at that rate, or if Environment Canada seems to think that that's likely, you'll probably see a snowfall warning issued for that Paulson Summit, Kootenay Summit, whatever, on that area. There's going to be a little bit of rainfall in the lower sectors too. Like you can kind of see where there's not the snowflakes and there's just the blue. Like there is that chance that you're going to see maybe more rain in Quesnel in the afternoon, for example, too. You're going to be up above zero, so it's not like you're going to be taking snow. But that's if you know how it is in these parts. A lot of the times the clouds don't really do much in Quesnel itself or in PG in those low areas. It's kind of up in the hills where most of that action takes place, and that's why you still might have snow in the region, even if it's fairly warm down there in Quesnel. I mean, it was 10 degrees when I went to Quesnel almost the other day, like 8 or 9, I guess it was, and it was 0 in Wells at that time. Thursday evening, that comes the next big pulse there before the weekend, as I was saying. And we're going to see kind of like that whole area of moisture and instability just kind of get thrust at us on the bottom side of the low here. So you're going to send quite a bit of that precip inland. I would think that Friday is going to be representative of that. Again, some heavier snow. That's why we're seeing like 80 centimeters, 90 centimeters, 100 centimeters up there in the mountain. Not out of the question that band of precip goes through the central interior on Friday morning. But looks like Pine Pass, that's a positive for you. Looks like Coquihalla Summit early Friday morning, that's a positive for snow for you and for mix of precipitation. Looks like Rogers Pass. Looks like even that risk of freezing rain in this Kootenays there along the Highway 3 corridor at places. So it may be only short-lived, temporary, but it could be that you're driving to work at Friday 8 in the morning, you hit a patch of black ice, and that's all she wrote for your life. So be aware if you're taking notes here on what days and when you want to be sort of prepared for that. Just a lot of precip on the coast. We didn't look at rainfall totals. We could do that briefly before you want. We're just going to watch towards the weekend here as we play on it out. But in time for your weekend, here comes just all the grossness that you've been wanting. Yeah, we need that precipitation inland. There's certainly areas that aren't seeming to get it that we needed a lot in. The Chilcotin needs more. It needs a lot more than it's had. That's an area of big concern for me in coming fire season if we don't see something change out in the plateau. It's generally a dry place. It's supposed to be dry, but not having pretty much any snow in a lot of places there is not a good sign for them. Look at that heavy snow Friday evening. So we're going to see some snowfall warnings, I think, Friday in places, high places, mountain passes at least, if not in other areas. Probably going to see quite a bit of fresh snow coming on for us in time for the weekend here in the Caribou. So if you got plans to go to Troll Ski Hill and you got plans to go riding sleds and whatnot out this way, you're probably going to see something like that in time for the weekend. Now it's moving on off. It's going to become its own little Alberta clipper, and we'll watch her go here and then call it a show. Where we go, big snow. Look at that through that road. That's that corridor moving its way out in time for Saturday, starting to clear out, and then we have a little bit of a nice weekend actually. And soon we start to see temperatures rise. Sunday, more precip coming. Like I said, we'll look at that next video. Temperatures starting to rise. Yeah, is it true? Is it going to get warmer? Is it going to warm from that flow? Oh boy, look at that. Look at these numbers. I saw yellows in the Alberta side there. Ooh, what's that? 15 Celsius, 16 Celsius. Oh boy, Southern Alberta. Williams Lake, 15. Are you kidding me? Does that really say Prince George 4? That can't be right. Okay, well, let's go ahead to next week, Tuesday. Oh, man, look at some of that warmth show up down there. That is the first sign of warmth coming this year. Look at California, right hot. Oh, boy, look at down there, Las Vegas, New Mexico. Look at that. There's some heat that if it can find a way to come north, could really change the game for us there this spring, and maybe soon we'll start moving towards an actual spring-like weather. Unfortunately, we haven't taken the snow we need in time, but hey, at least I'm sick of being cold all the time. Imagine 15 degrees next week. I'll lose my friggin' mind, my friends. That'll be so awesome. So take care and beware, and know that I care about you, love you all. Thank you. You keep me going. You keep me encouraged. You keep me fed. Do my best to keep you in the know, keep you apprised of what I'm thinking, of what I'm reading, of what I'm seeing in weather, what I'm seeing in the world. Just do my best to share what I have to share. It's all I really got right now in the world, and that's my sober journey, is talking to a camera, because I need to talk to somebody some days, and you're the one who's here for me. Thank you very much for that. Hit like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time.